So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Burnout to Brilliance, an initiative by Resiliency Program. And in our podcast, we are going to invite people who have shown remarkable initiatives in corporates, in industries, and they have brought a lot of changes in the life of the people who work for them. And in as a part of that initiative, today with me I have Mr. Prashant Khullar, who's the global HR leader for BLS International. Sorry for the slip of tongue. So, global HR leader for BLS International. And welcome to our podcast, Prashant.
Thank you, Deepika. It's really good to be here. And hi, everyone.
So, Prashant, you are a global HR leader and you're a change catalyst, and your journey has also been very remarkable. And today you are working with more than 70 plus countries, people who are spread across more than 70 countries. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. And keeps getting larger and larger.
So, can you tell us about your journey briefly and especially about the challenges that you faced on your way when you were reaching here?
Well, uh, thank you for that question. It's always a pleasure going down memory lane, especially the pleasant ones. But I think more than that, what I cherish are some of the not so pleasant memories because I'd say that's the reason why some of us are where we are because some not so pleasant memories gave us those real valuable lessons. So, so yeah, my journey's been it's been 26 years now. Started off as a hotel graduate. My first job was with the Four Seasons Hotel in London. Worked in hotel operations. Moved into HR, learning and development, quality. Um, I had, I think, my grounding years with the Taj Hotels. I spent over a decade with them. Had tremendous learning. More than anything else, I think values, which I learned from the Tata Group, which even today help me every time I'm stuck at crossroads, whether it's a decision to be taken or whether it's doing something for someone. It's just people first culture that I learned, which I think has sustained thus far. And with the way times have changed, which I witnessed over the last 2 decades, I think those values become even more important. And so grateful for having learned them the time that I did.
Right. So, you know how these days we see that there is an increasing trend in employee burnout in organizations, and you must have seen it in this long journey of yours as well. So, what do you think? So, you said you have so many learnings, and whenever you are at crossroads, you always look back and you always have something to draw from there. But what do you think is the reason why people are feeling overwhelmed more and more with every passing year?
Uh, Deepika, I think that's a very good question. And, the top things that really come to my mind when I think about, burnout, um, and without wanting to sound cliche, um, I think for me, when I look at different sets of people across different age groups, different roles and responsibilities in the organization, number one thing I can put my finger on, which is really causing burnout today, and I think unnecessary personal secure insecurities that people tend to, put on themselves. I know we talk about work overload, we talk about performance demands, we talk about always being connected, more like an always on culture. But I think
Right.
many of those things are still easy to manage. What's difficult to manage, or what's really causing burnout, is the stress people tend to put on themselves, which may not be necessary. It's those insecurities when you look around, that um, so much is happening for someone, or someone's getting this, someone's not, or why am I where I am? Why can't I be somewhere else?
The
Or
constant comparison.
yes, is everything going to be all right?
Hmm.
So those kind of nervous energies, I think, are more a reason that's causing burnout, which ideally shouldn't be, because many of those things that one tends to cook up in the mind actually in reality don't even happen. And I've always seen better things happen for people who tend to have put themselves in a black hole, thinking that, oh my god, now things are just going bad. For example, for me personally, I think I am an eternal optimist. Anyone who's ever worked with me, over the years would say, I am just extremely positive. That's what I feel, that you put me in the worst situation, ever, and for me, I'd even make something fun out of that. So that
I
keeps
think
me.
that's what resilience is all about, right?
You can call it resilience. You can call it faith. I personally choose to call it a lot about faith, that you believe in yourself. You believe that
Hmm.
well, everything's got a time and everything's got to work out. So yeah, that's
But do you think that an organization culture has a role to play in this? Why
oh,
people are feeling what they are feeling? Why they are in a constant
I
comparison
think
mode, or the insecurities that you just mentioned?
most definitely, because I think organization cultures, when I look at today, and when I speak to colleagues across various companies and industries, much to say is, more or less everybody's working today in a always on culture, where people find it very, very difficult to switch off. All right. And that's constant at, once again, any level in the organization,
Hmm.
because so much is happening. There's so much more demand, from people in terms of performance. Um Targets are, higher than ever. So what's really happening is, you know, uh, people are always connected. Uh, the first thing you wake up in the morning, more than anything else, I think people end up checking their emails or checking their WhatsApp, that,
Hmm.
anything happened while I was asleep. And more, I think also, it may sound cliche, but because of the traditional FOMO, the fear of missing out, that, I don't want to be seen the last to know, or I don't want to be seen as the last to reply. So there's
So that's
again
not
that.
just happening on social media, that's also happening within the organizations,
I think it's happening.
right?
It's happening in every nook and corner of life today. I've experienced people even on holidays, they just can't switch off.
Hmm.
Sometimes I think it's more than a need for the organization. It becomes their personal need to want to be seen everywhere, to want
Yeah.
to not miss out anything. So say, I think, and that what's happening is because it's getting replicated. It's in a way becoming a culture,
Hmm.
a workplace culture,
So, what
which
is your organization particularly is doing to build a culture where people don't feel the need to constantly be seen, or so that they can work on this FOMO?
see. I'll tell you. My organization, we have our own unique challenges. Number one, because we're working across the globe, with as many countries as we spoke about, time zones are different. Okay,
Right.
and you don't hire people as per time zones. You hire people as per responsibilities. Now,
Right.
if I've got to interact with my USA team, or my Canada team, Mexico, Peru, Argentina, in any of those countries where we operate, um, I've got to become flexible to be able to operate as per their time. All right, because hundreds of people, wanting to interact, need my time. So I need to make sure that whether it's 11 in the night, whether it's half past midnight, I need to make myself available because the job demands so. So that's a different type of challenge because of the nature of the role. But then, as an organization, we're very sensitive that if you've had late nights or you've been in meetings, you can take it easy the next morning and come a little later. We provide a lot of flexibility. There are time zones that you can come between this time to this time in the morning. You can leave between this time to this time in the evening. Uh, Especially wherever it's possible. For example, we operate hundreds of visa application centers globally. Now, those visa application centers operate as per specific time because doors are open for our customers, and they come during those times. So it's easier to manage timings. But then people who are either at the headquarters or people who are specialist functions, sometimes there's no day, no night. So we provide them that flexibility. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I really take pride in saying this, that this is one of the unique companies where I work is after work, and once again, more or less at any level, rarely would anyone get a call. So once people go home, we try our best not to bother them on their days off, whether it's a weekend or any other holiday, unless there's a real pressing need, which, trust me, more often than not isn't. We don't bother. We respect their family time. We want people to get the rest they deserve, get the time that they want to spend with their family. So as a culture, at BLS International, we really promote that. So I'd say 9 out of 10 times we just let people be on the days off, and wait till the next working day to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Like I said, unless if it's
Downtime is important for everybody, because if you're
and we take that very
constantly,
seriously.
yeah, if you're constantly working and not taking a downtime or time to actually relax and unwind, then it does take a toll on physical as well as mental health, right?
Most
So,
definitely, yeah.
mm, so I do understand that your organization has different kind of challenges, and I'm sure every organization faces different challenges. So besides not bothering the people when they are off their shifts, are you doing any specific kind of interventions to help the employees develop the resilience? Like, we were discussing just a while back that people, as soon as they wake up, they start checking their emails, and the stress levels start building up at that point of time itself. So are there any proactive measures, for example, teaching them skills like, all right, when you wake up, before checking the emails, maybe check your breath first, take a few deep breaths, and then start your
No,
day on a better note?
I wish. The answer to your question is I wish, but let me answer that in two parts.
Yeah.
Let's consider a softer part. Let's consider then the more hard stuff or the technical stuff. So the softer stuff. I think, like I said before, we respect people's personal time. Uh, Also, what we've done is we've given people today a lot of learning opportunities. So we've recently partnered with one organization to have a really strong learning management system with about 21,000 courses available, and people can you know learn just about anything and everything through this LMS, including de-stressing, including various activities to reduce burnout, or how can you kind of be better planned and stuff. So what we've done is we've brought the tool to people. Now, as a company, we really do not believe in strict guidelines that you must do this or you must do that. We tell people that do what works for you.
Right.
We encourage people to more and more discover themselves. Self awareness, as part of our leadership style, is extremely important, and
That's right.
that's what we're encouraging, that people tend to understand more about who they are, what works for them, and if they need help, just let us know, and we're very willing to work around their needs, customize. to just about every individual. All right, that's an example. The harder stuff, which I think the more technical stuff, which I think today you'll hear a lot of companies talk about mental illness, mental well-being, and stuff. It's a given today. That's something which is really happening both at the organizational as well as individual level. But for us, we've gone a little deeper. Let me tell you two things that come to my mind when I say we've gone a little deeper. Uh, we've tried to, make work itself uh, a little more exciting. All right, because we believe that until and unless you're not enjoying what you're doing, if that work's not exciting you, it'll always seem like stress. But if that work seems fun for you, it's not going to cause burnout. It's not going to cause stress. So what are we doing? We're trying to simplify every task. All right, we're trying to remove complexity as far as possible from our decision making. What is happening as a result of it? Um, we take decisions fast. For us, I think we just know how to get things done and get them done fast. And I'm sure every employee in the organization, or most of them, will back me when I say this. That for us, we like to keep the ball rolling. We simplify. We take decisions fast because I think I've seen more often than not, uh, people feel stressed more at a time when there's a low sense of accomplishment, a low sense of achievement. But
That's
when people feel constantly that uh, they're a part of something larger, that their contribution is helping the company grow, and they're recognized, you could make them work for hours and hours. I mean, practically, you have to stop them. That listen, go home, because they're just enjoying themselves so much. They feel that they're contributing to the growth of the company. It makes all the difference. So simplify. Decision making needs to be extremely good. Uh, for us, another important thing is that we don't believe in blurred boundaries. We set boundaries very clearly. We don't allow them to get blurred, right up to the top leadership. People know what is expected. I think our people know how to treat people in their teams. uh, More than anything else, I think, how do you support them at the right time, give them the right opportunities, at the right time. And possibly the biggest thing is, I don't think our people feel, any lack of control. Even the, most frontline staff would feel she or he is in charge, that they're empowered, that they are in control of the work that they do.
that's a very very good culture. So can you share a specific example where you have like seen successfully such transformation taking place, and where a burnout prone culture is turning into a culture of resilience and brilliance?
So, uh, I think let me just uh, uh, let me just put this in a context that, number one, I strongly believe that there's no workplace in the world which is perfect. You know, I
That's
think
true.
every organization is constantly going through its own learning curve. And let me start with, there are days, I think, in our own organization. Um, there are days when I feel a little overwhelmed. There are times when I feel a bit of burnout. And if I can feel that way, I'm sure there are thousands of people who can feel the same way. Uh,
True.
One of the biggest reasons, or what has really contributed to our transformation, if I may say it, is, um, we're not afraid to be vulnerable. Number one. All right. So today I know that if I'm overwhelmed about something, or if I'm having any sort of a burnout, um, number one, I know I'm not alone. Number two, I think there's no fear of expressing myself. All right, just raising my hand and saying, guys, I need help. Okay. Now that help could be just maybe a conversation with another peer, conversation with a colleague, conversation with anyone in my team. That I just need someone to hear me out. So what we've done uniquely is we've given people the freedom to express. Okay, that don't hold yourself back. uh, Speak your mind out. For example,
Is
just the
that like an
last,
open door policy that you're saying you have?
I think, more than an open door policy, we engage with our staff, frequently. So, for example, my team in India, okay, we have close to about just the headquarters, about 400 to 500 odd people. We have skip level meetings now every quarter. I make it a point that with key members of the HR team, I'm present and interacting with every single member of our team. That people don't really need to think twice about, oh, we've got to meet the head of HR, or we make ourselves available. Okay, we listen. I think in our company, we've got this great culture of being able to listen to understand. And for me, I think my job becomes really easy because I look at my employees as my customers. They're constantly coming up with new ideas. They're telling us what needs to be done. I just need to get it done. So that
That's a very good
freedom of
thing.
expression is what people, number one, are really enjoying.
Yeah.
Um, Second, I think we're also we practice a lot of mindfulness. Okay, if I may put it that way, where we are constantly training our people, developing our people, that hold on to reactions as far as possible. Not every situation or everything that's gone wrong necessarily needs a deep reaction. Just take time, absorb it, try to figure out what's gone wrong. Uh,
Responding instead of reacting.
Yes, and as part of leadership, we constantly keep telling our people that uh, don't create panic, because that panic tends to kind of ruffle more feathers than anything else. The last, and I think possibly the most important part of how we're transforming from more a burnout to a good healthy work culture is investing in some good strong and deep relationships. uh, in our company, not just the nature of our business, but also as a competency, relationship building is something we hold very dear to our heart. Okay, whether it's relationship with our customers, with when I say customers, various governments of the world, but relationships internally as well. That I know there are people at work uh, who care about me, who care about what I think. My voice matters, my feedback is important, and
That's a very good feeling to have for anybody.
yes, yes,
So
so
we at
relationship.
Resiliency program only make things easier for organizations because we have a very state of art tech based platform where we can actually measure what's going on within the organization at the level of organization as well as at the level of individual. So and I and my team, we believe that whatever you can measure you can change, right? So when you can measure something, when you can measure how much burnout is there in an organization, like you said, none of the organizations are perfect. But when you know for sure that, okay, this much burnout is there in an organization and it's happening because of these parameters being here and there, then you can manage it better. So,
I
do you think
agree.
that a solution like this is a good fit for a big organization like yours? And this
I
is just the crux of it. It's a very complex. Uh,
Deepika, and thank you really for pointing that out, because I'll tell you what's really important today is, um, there's never really going to be a right fit unless and until you get your hands dirty, you try something and
yeah.
see, how it's working for you. So I think we're living in times where, and I won't say innovation really, but I think our ability to try something new,
Hmm.
uh, try and make it work. Uh, Big deal if it fails, doesn't work, just start again.
Yeah.
Okay, and
That's
programs
a very
like,
good attitude to have, actually.
that's what's made us today. I mean, BLS International. today we're a company growing at an extremely fast pace.
Yeah.
We're a set of about seven companies now. We're in the process of acquiring a lot more. Just last quarter, our profitability increased by about 78%. So, our growth is extremely rapid. And what's really working for us is, I think we're a set of mad people. We're mad, obsessed for growth, the hunger for growth, and yet we set boundaries ourselves for ourselves. That these are guardrails to help us make sure that we're in the right path. So programs like what you said, resiliency programs, I think would really help us because that fast pace is only possible when every single person is on board. We
When
only can.
all the wheels are oiled equally.
Exactly, and that in any machinery, certain things will keep happening. You need to keep
Hmm.
it going. So we strongly believe that. I think um, uh, don't wait for something to go wrong and then
Hmm.
make some sort of intervention. Make sure that you've got your eyes and ears to the ground. What's happening?
Proactive measures.
Proactively keep trying, keep learning to do something. For example, you know we've taken mentoring and coaching extremely seriously. I personally spend a lot of time, like many of our leaders do, with people across functions. That how's it going, what is it that I can do, and that's the time I'm not wearing the hat of an HR head. That is the time that you're wearing the hat of a mentor or a coach, and really understanding what people want to say, because more often than not I've seen uh, they'll tell you the problems and they've got the solutions. If you
Hmm.
listen long enough, they'll give you the answers.
So,
So yeah.
keeping in mind the time that we have, I will just quickly ask you one last question. What is the key takeaway that you would like to share with whosoever is listening to this podcast as to how they can make their organizations more resilient and grow faster like your organization?
I think once again, the few things that come to my mind is bring in as much simplicity as you can. Uh, uh, our tasks are complex anyway. What we need today are leaders who can break down, those complexities into
So
simple things,
simpler processes in the organization.
simpler processes, simpler ways of doing things. Number one. Number two, try and help people build deeper relationships, deep bonds. Because when things go wrong, I've seen when people come together, they find solutions themselves. Number three, let people be vulnerable. All right, build a culture where people have the freedom to express themselves. They're not scared. They're not scared to speak their mind. They're not scared of failure. They go down, but they bounce back much higher. So I think, yeah, two or three of just those simple things.
So
It's not.
non-judgmental kind of environment you need to
Yes,
create in your
non-judgmental.
organization.
It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
It's really simple, if you ask me, and make sure that people, that their purpose in life is aligned in one way or the other to the purpose of the organization, because that's, I think, what people are really looking for today. If I feel that what I'm doing is added to my life purpose, work is not going to seem work. It's going to be a lot more fun than that. So help people discover their purpose,
Hmm.
align it with the organization, and recognize people as often as you can, yeah, even for the smallest thing.
That's great. So it was a truly great discussion with you, Prashant, and thank you so much for sparing time. And I'm sure people who listen to this podcast, everyone will have something to take away. Uh, so yeah, thank you once again. And this is me, Deepika Lalwani, Chief Wellness Officer, Resiliency Program, signing off for today. And we are going to see you soon with another podcast with another very interesting guest. So signing off for today.
Thank you, Deepika. Thank you.
Thank you.